Salam, guys. Welcome to the Thoughtful Banter podcast. I'm your host, Mahdi, not with my co-host, Hussein. I'm making this episode for several reasons. Hussein's kind of temporarily taking a break right now because he's got a lot going on. So maybe only for this episode, maybe for a couple more, you might just see me, inshallah. I kind of wanted to make this scripted because of what I'm talking about, but I also kind of wanted to just speak from the heart about it. Over the last weekend, we've all gotten the terrible news of the passing of a pillar in our community, Sayyid Asad Jafri. And just like, I'm sure like many of you guys listening right now, when you heard the news, you're hoping it was fake news. You're hoping, no way, that's not true. I was just hoping that some uncles on WhatsApp were passing stuff along, and it's like, no, stop spreading fake news. And unfortunately, it's not fake news. And it's just so sad, and it's provided a lot of reflection. By no means am I trying to benefit off of this situation. I think you guys know that. This is a small channel. We don't make any money off of our content. And if I did make money off of content, if Hussein and I did, we would demonetize this video. But there isn't even any monetization at this point. But this is really relevant to myself, Hussein, and our audience, right? Our audience is primarily made up of Muslims who are part of the Shia sect. When I got the news, I'll tell you, the way I'll describe it is like this. With all of these things happening right now in the Muslim world, of all of these things happening, every night we're just hearing news. More Palestinians getting bombed, more civilians getting bombed, getting shot. All these terrible things, back to back to back to back. It kind of feels like, I'm ready for that. I'm expecting that. It's terrible, but I'm expecting that. I have my guard up. It's kind of like you're in guard and your enemy is throwing jabs at you. And even if someone's really strong, going with a boxing metaphor here, if someone's really strong, jabs might hurt, right? But it's not going to knock you out, right? Like, okay, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. And then hearing this news of Sayyid Asad Jafri's passing, it feels like from nowhere, while your opponent who's in front of you who are expecting to throw jabs at you is throwing jabs at you, another opponent from the back just punches you as hard as they can right in your kidney. And kidney shots just knock you down. They just knock you down to the ground. Because, it really just made me think about myself, my time, how I'm wasting it. Because it's just, I have so much respect for Sayyid Asad Jafri. Like, mashallah, like he, and of course, like we're sending our du'as. We're all making du'as right now. That's all we can do is make du'as. And just going back and listening to those lectures, benefiting off of this knowledge, whatever is documented, benefiting off of it. So after the passing, I was thinking, I haven't really listened to his recent lecture series, and I was listening to his series, his latest series, I think, on the channel, and I'm going to link that series in the description box below. And I think it's called Cultivating a Divine Inclination. It is so good. He is, like, I haven't heard a speaker in a very long time with this kind of knowledge that he had really speak to the youth. And everyone's posting these experiences online. All these different scholars are posting clips from him online. And it just shows like he was so easy to get along with. Like he wasn't one of those people who was like, oh, I'm a scholar. I can't be relatable. I can't be funny. I'm too religious. I can't be funny. Like, he wasn't like that. I hit up the group chat, and everyone's just talking about it. I'm just seeing like the impact. You know what's crazy? I don't think I've ever even listened to one of his lectures in person. I've listened to so many of his lectures, but never have I listened to one in person. I listened to them all online. So yeah, may Allah be pleased with him. I pray that all his sins are forgiven, and I'm praying for his family. Praying for the Toronto community that's feeling this the hardest. But again, I have a couple of other reflections I want to share, like things I feel like I'm trying to learn from this, and maybe we can all learn from it. And if you have any reflections, please let me know. But for one, wasting time. I am so bad at this. I waste so much of my time, all the time. I waste so much of my time, and I'm trying to get better at this. But yeah, when I heard the news, I was thinking, that doesn't make sense. Sayed is so young. Sayed is maybe 50, right? And always seemed to be like a really strong young guy, like I would never call him an old man by any means, but then you think like, age is really an illusion, right? I think in the back of my mind, I've always thought to myself that, oh yeah, I'm going to die at 60. I'll die at 80. I'll die at an old age. And it's like, I could die while I'm recording this. I can die while I'm editing this. There's no guarantee amount of time that myself or anyone listening to this is going to have. And no matter how many times I say that, I'm not going to really get it, right? But that's the truth. So life is short, so it's like we have to I don't know. There's things that we know we should be doing, but we don't give ourselves time for. But maybe it's not that we lack time. Maybe we just lack prioritization. Maybe in life we have all the time we need to get the important stuff done. We don't have enough time to do everything we want and the important stuff. But maybe we have enough time to get done everything that's important, right? So that's one. The second thing is the impact of documentation, of digital documentation. The fact that a man who I've never met before, who I don't know personally, the fact that someone like that, hearing about his death, can make me cry and impact my life because of videos on YouTube, that's crazy. We are living really in a completely unseen, different era right now. We can really be making massive, humongous impacts with our technology. So I hope if any Molana is listening to this right now, anyone who has knowledge, please just upload your lectures. I really wish. I understand a lot of our scholars are focusing a lot of their energy on, they have to watch themselves, be careful of their egos, and they have to be careful about what they put out there because they don't want to put things out there out of chasing clout. You don't post enough or don't even have accounts, and it's like, why aren't you posting? Why isn't your lecture on YouTube? Why aren't you making clips? I wish I saw this. People need to see this, right? Because it needs to be documented. Third point, it's not directly related to what happened to our Sayyid, but the third point is just guys, this honestly feels like a really terrible time in the world. And I don't want anyone to try to tell me to think positively. I don't want someone to tell me to see the, the silver lining. I'm not buying it, and I'm not saying it to be negative. I'm saying it to be okay with the facts. This is a really bad time. So many innocent people are dying right now. This is a really rough time. And if you're not feeling it, you must be detached from it. Either you don't know about it or you're not letting yourself care about it. And in times like this, it really feels like the end times. The last 2 episodes Hussein and I have uploaded, we've been talking about this, political climate that we're in right now. We're talking about, how do I say this without getting this video? Because a couple of our videos have just gotten shadow banned. Typically, we get a video, like I'll upload a short, and YouTube is just giving it out, like, 7,000 views, 10,000 views, 4,000 views. And the last couple of shorts about this issue got like 10 views, 20 views, 1 view. So I'll say this. It really feels like end times. And when it's end times, the only thing I think worth doing is trying to get closer to Allah. And I have no idea how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a scholar. Do not consider me a religious person by any means. I'm just a guy. I'm just a dude. I am just talking to a camera. I have 0 qualifications. Do not listen to me. Right? I've just been thinking, like, okay, how should I do this? So, like a couple, myself and like, the boys, right? Like, we're just trying to start small, just small good acts, just doing some extra acts and just being more together, inshallah. That's what, our hadith tell us what to do, right? The Quran tells us what to do, right? Be patient, stand with Allah, do good acts, do good deeds, prayer, fasting, community. I think these are things right now, like, more than ever, we need to be diving into. Like, we need to be really invested in this. Now is not the time for just endless entertainment. And maybe there's a balance. We can't just be sucked in to the news 24/7, nonstop on repeat. But at the same time, we shouldn't just be, binge watching Netflix like usual. There should be a difference. There should be a distinction between how we're acting right now and how we usually act. And I'm a hypocrite. So this isn't advice. This is just the ramblings of someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. But I felt the need to say it. I feel like, I don't want to just upload. With all of this happening, like, I don't know, like, I can't just, Hussein and I don't feel comfortable, like, this happened, that happened, people are dying left and right. We're reading Muslim Reddit stories. Oh my God. It's like, it seems like in poor taste. Like, are you awake? Do you not know what's happening right now? Do you not know what's happening in the world right now? What people are dying? This is terrible. Yeah, I'll just close up with this because I'm rambling and I could talk to myself forever. And of course, I want to know what you guys think. You brothers and sisters, I want to know what you think. I'm trying to figure it out, but I think, if we get together and do more, if we get together and do, like, just with your community, with your family and friends, hey guys, let's read some Quran together. Let's do a group dua circle. If it's not, it doesn't even have to be like strictly that religious. Hey, let's have people over every single night. Just be, let's do Salatul Jama'at. Let's pray together. Let's have people over every night and we eat together. And at the end, let's make some duas. Let's think about, like, I guess, our place in this world amongst each other, like, what are we doing here, and how can we be improving it, and how are we wasting our time? Because I do think there are things that, just a theory, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I do think it only makes sense, right? Allah's made us, each and one of us, for a purpose. We might not always know exactly what our specific purpose is, but I think there's a purpose. And Allah's all just, so if there is a purpose, I think we've all been given enough time and enough resources to accomplish that purpose. So if we just start asking ourselves, what is that purpose? What are we meant to do? And I have no idea what that is for me. I am trying to figure that out. But I think one way we can kind of get closer to understanding what that is maybe understanding, if I were to die tomorrow, if I were to die next week, what would I get done? You know, how would I act, and what would I get done? Yeah. Sending du'as, making fatihas for Sayyid Asad, Jafri, and, for his family, for his community, for us, for our Muslim brothers and sisters all around the world, for all the oppressed people around the world, sending du'as.